I still remember the smell of fresh cookies in the kitchen and my little girl's giggles filling our cozy living room. My name is Elena, and for the longest time, I thought I had the perfect life. A loving husband, Mark, who worked so hard for our family. Our 6-year-old daughter, Lily, with her bright eyes and endless curiosity. And Mark's mother, Margaret, who lived just a few blocks away. She was always around, helping with Lily, bringing meals, giving advice whether I wanted it or not. That Saturday afternoon started like any other. Mark was out running errands. I was folding laundry while Lily played near the big window overlooking the backyard. The sun was warm, birds were chirping, and everything felt peaceful. Until my daughter suddenly froze, her tiny hand grabbing my sleeve. "Mommy." "Shh. Don't move," she whispered, her voice so small and serious it sent chills down my spine. "Look." I bent down slowly, heart already racing, and followed her pointing finger. Through the half-open blinds, I saw my mother-in-law standing in our backyard near the old shed. She wasn't alone. She was handing a thick envelope to a woman I didn't recognize, someone dressed too nicely for a casual visit. Margaret looked nervous, glancing back at the house like she was afraid of being caught. My stomach dropped. What was she doing? Why was she in our backyard when she was supposed to be at her own home? And who was that woman? I wanted to believe it was nothing. Maybe she was just helping someone, or giving away old clothes. But the way Lily's little body trembled against me told me otherwise. My sweet girl had seen something that scared her. And in that moment, a quiet voice inside me whispered that our perfect little world was about to shatter. I pulled Lily gently away from the window, hugged her tight, and forced a smile. "It's okay, baby. Let's go play in your room." But inside, my mind was spinning. I had no idea that this single whispered warning from my daughter would uncover years of hidden betrayal and change our family forever. That night, after Lily was asleep, I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd seen. Mark came home tired but happy, kissing me on the forehead like always. I almost told him right then, but something held me back. I needed proof. I needed to understand why his mother was sneaking around our property. The next few days, I started noticing little things I had ignored before. Margaret's sudden questions about our finances. The way she'd casually mention how hard it must be for Mark to support someone like me. The times she'd take Lily for a special grandma time and bring her back quieter than usual. I began checking our bank statements. At first, nothing stood out. But then I found small transfers, money moving to an account I didn't recognize. When I confronted Mark gently, he looked confused. "Mom said she was helping with some family stuff," he told me. Family stuff? Without telling us? I started watching more carefully. One evening, I followed Margaret after she left our house. She drove to a small cafe on the edge of town. And there she was again, meeting the same well-dressed woman. I parked far away and watched them talk intensely. The woman handed Margaret papers. My mother-in-law smiled in a way I had never seen, cold and satisfied. My heart broke when I finally pieced it together. Margaret had never liked me. From the day Mark brought me home, she believed I wasn't good enough for her son. So she had been secretly paying a private investigator to dig up dirt on me, old photos, twisted stories from my past, anything she could use. The goal? To convince Mark to divorce me and gain full custody of Lily. She even had legal papers drafted, ready to file the moment she had enough evidence. The woman was a lawyer specializing in messy family cases. Margaret had been funding everything, thousands of dollars, all while pretending to be the helpful, loving grandmother. She wanted our family broken so she could control her son and granddaughter completely. When I realized the depth of her betrayal, I felt shattered. This woman who hugged my daughter every week, who smiled at me across the dinner table, had been plotting to destroy my life for years. The pain was crushing. I cried in the shower so Mark wouldn't hear. I questioned everything, every kind word, every visit, every "I love you." But somewhere in that heartbreak, anger began to rise. I was done being the quiet, trusting wife. For my daughter's sake, For my marriage, I had to become stronger. I didn't explode. I planned. First, I gathered my own evidence, screenshots, bank records, photos of the secret meetings. I quietly spoke to Mark one evening after Lily was in bed. I showed him everything, voice steady even though my hands were shaking. At first he didn't want to believe it. But the proof was undeniable. I watched my husband's face crumble as he realized his own mother had been working against us. The confrontation happened at Margaret's house. We brought Lily's favorite stuffed animal as a silent reminder of what was truly at stake. When Mark asked her directly about the money and the lawyer, she tried to deny it at first. Then she turned on me, accusing me of being a bad mother, of trapping her son. But Mark had already seen the truth. I trusted you, Mom, he said, voice heavy with pain. You tried to tear apart my family. We cut contact that day. Margaret was no longer welcome in our home or near Lily without strict supervision. We changed our accounts, updated our wills, and made sure legal protections were in place. The lawyer she hired? We sent her collected evidence, and she quietly dropped the case. Margaret lost the one thing she wanted most, control over her son and granddaughter. In the end, her greed and bitterness left her isolated. It took months, but our family began to heal. Lily slowly stopped asking about Grandma. Mark and I grew closer than ever, communicating more openly and protecting what we built together. I learned that real strength isn't loud or vengeful, it's protecting your peace and your loved ones with quiet courage. If there's one thing I want you to take from my story, it's this: sometimes the people closest to us can hurt us the deepest. But when you stand up for yourself and your children, you don't just survive, you create a stronger, more honest life. Trust your instincts, especially when your child whispers a warning. And never be afraid to choose your family's peace over toxic loyalty. Thank you for watching. If you've ever faced betrayal from family, drop a comment below. You're not alone. Please like, share, and subscribe for more real stories of heartbreak and quiet justice. Take care of yourselves.